Welcome, friends. Welcome, everyone, to Jzilla Tuesday Night iRacing. I am your host, Jim Hodgson, and Cross-Threaded is the channel. It is a car channel that my wife and I built together. Welcome once again to Tuesday Night iRacing. Tonight we've got a very special, very peculiar race for you. You're going to see the 87 era NASCAR cars on track with modern GT4s. You just saw in the background there a BMW, and here comes I believe that was a Thunderbird that just went tearing by. So, should be a pretty interesting race. And as you can also see, I've changed up the overlay. So, I'm working with all new overlay software tonight for the stream. So again, thank you so much for joining us. There's going to be a little bit of fumbling around since this is all new to me, but I'm going to do my best. We're going to see some folks race. We're going to have a great time. And, what more can you ask than that? So, how are we doing so far? Well, you join us at the beginning of qualifying. We're just a minute and 37 seconds into it. So let's see how we're doing so far. Here we go. We should be seeing some information here, although of course it's not showing. Come on, software, work with me. Doesn't want to show me the qualifying data. Killing me. Computers. Always. Okay, so race info, it will show. Thank you for that. Would love to be able to see driver information. Well, that was Philip Crane we just saw go driving by. The software appears to have lost some amount of connection. Now, this is something that happened. This is the third time this has happened to me, as one of the cars goes teetering off track. That looks like a Cayman. And I believe that might be... everything seems fine during practice, then qualifying comes and everything is terrible. So, I don't understand it, folks. But if experience is any guide, then it will be fine once we get to the actual race. Here's the race info. No problem there. There's some car information. Well, that's better than nothing. As I believe we're looking at Crane going off the track. Maybe we can see lap times. No, it won't show that. Well, for the record, gang, I have asked the iRacing forums about this problem where qualifying seems to want to disappear. And I've also asked official iRacing what reason might be that qualifying would be so weird. This is the third time this has happened to me. Third time it's made me look like an utter buffoon. Nobody will answer. They won't even guess what the problem might be. Kind of makes you wonder where the money that you spend on iRacing goes. I guess it goes to the computers that they need to run the thing at all. But I can tell you where it's not going. It's not going to support. Now the timing tower has begun to work. What a treat. See if we got the session state. Yes, we do. Okay. finally we're starting to see some results. So Muir at the top of the leaderboard, which is no surprise. And Flannery, 2 seconds adrift. Muir with a 2:19, as you can see there. And 2 seconds gap for Flannery at a 2:21. Hazelton completes a lap with a over half a second gap on Flannery. Here are their best times so far. That's actually working nicely. That's not too shabbily done. So Muir 2:19.044, Hazelton 2:19.6, Flannery 2:21. Oh. A lot of other cars on track right now. You'd think we'd be seeing some other times come by. Here's the track map. That's working. That's nice. It does appear that we only have 3 cars on track. What's everybody else doing? Could it be that we're only seeing the BMW GT4s? Like we're only seeing this one class? Maybe iRacing will only let me see this one class because that's the only car I own, although Muir might be. What's he in? Yep, he's in a BMW. Hazelton's in a BMW. Flannery's in a BMW. But there's a car ahead. It looks like a NASCAR. Ay, caramba. Okay, here comes some more results. What a treat. So, you are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 again for Lovett because Lovett is in the 87 NASCAR car. We'll have a look at Lovett. And Crane has just bested Lovett's time. So there's Lovett. Here he is in the Xerox car. And that's Crane in the Turtle Wax car. Doing a little turtle waxing of the beach. Looked like turn 1 to me, unless I missed my guess. Back to Lovett. And here is Wilmot in the 711 Motorcraft car. That looks like a Thunderbird to me, going by the blue oval there, front and center on the hood. So interesting that if you just look at those times there on your top left, you can see that Muir in the modern GT4 car has got almost 10 seconds on Crane's fastest time so far in his 87 NASCAR, although it looks like that might have been his outlap, going by the data that we're seeing there. That's really something else. Crane taking it easy through here. So, a few other cars. Wilmot turned in a very nice time. A 2:25 in his Thunderbird. Not too far off the best that Muir and Hazelton have so far been able to do. So your leaders in class. Class 2 is the GT4s, Muir leading them. Class 1 led by Wilmot, as you can see here. About 5 minutes left to go. A lot of cars choosing not to qualify, it looks like. Either that or they're just not showing up for me, which is also highly possible. Thanks again for joining us. Really appreciate having you with us. It looks like we have a viewer, Team Gambles, checking us out from New Zealand, land of the long white cloud. So good to have you, New Zealand. Always a pleasure. Thank you for watching on the YouTube stream. As we move our way, it looks like Hazelton is giving up on being able to better his time on Muir and heads into the pits. Significant amount of the field not even qualifying, which is a little bit mystifying to me. I guess the thinking must be, I don't know what the thinking is. Maybe is the thinking I don't want to risk an incident during qualifying that I would take on some points for when I don't think I'm going to be able to qualify any faster than anybody. And since this is iRacing and we're going to have a big old smash up in turn one anyway, what difference does it make? Is that the thought process? I have no idea. Looks like Hazelton is leaving the pits once more. Here he is. So he's back out on track. Wilmot in the 69 car. Being passed by the number 10 machine of Jonathan Greenberg, bouncing off the rev limiter there. And Wilmot thanks him for his trouble by shoveling him off the track. I'm sure Greenberg is annoyed. He hasn't turned in a time yet. There's Lovett. Looked like he just had some sort of an incident there in turn 14. Let's see if we can have a little replay. Here's Lovett. Coming in a little hot, losing the rear. Yep, off he went. These things do happen. Oh, mercy. Lovett getting a whole lot of wall. So, just about a minute and a half left to go in our qualifying session. And then we will have the race proper. And it looks to me like we're going to see Max Muir in pole position. Let's see where Hazelton is on track. He just completed a lap. His previous was 2:21, so still an easy 2 seconds off of where he needs to be in order to best Muir's lap. And I just saw another car go dancing off in turn 5 there. This is going to be a pretty interesting race, gang. There's going to be, I think, a not insignificant amount of incidents is a a way I will put that. Just about 30 seconds to go now. I do not think that Hazelton is going to be able to get around and complete this lap. Just going around 11 now, heading into the kettle bottom. I'm not sure what the qualifying rules are, if he gets to count this lap since he started it. Excuse me for not knowing how iRacing scores those kinds of things, but there is the checker on the qualifying session. So, Let's see if we can have a look at some results. Will it let him count that? I wonder. There he goes over the start-finish line now. And goes. Stops the car in style. Does Hazelton. Well done to you, sir. And there is the checkered flag on the start stand. Just waiting for the results to pop up to be able to show them to you guys. It looks like we have a couple of cars still on track. Day, Crane, and Greenberg. Still on track, it looks like. Day stops his car. Okay. So everybody is off track. You would think we would be able to see some results from that qualifying session, wouldn't you? Well, I would think so too. Nothing. Gosh, I would love to see some results right now. Hey, there they were. Okay. Wait a minute. Get out of here. Okay, let's see. No, we don't want the grid. We want qualifying. There we go. There are your qualifying results. Muir, Hazelton, and Wilmot, Day, Flannery, Henry, Warren, Van Nuss, Crane, and Lovett. Now let's see if we can see them. Here is Class 1, it says, but that doesn't look right to me. There we go. So these are your NASCAR cars, and Class 2 are your GT4s. There are those results. Fantastic. That worked out. So here's your grid. You're going to have Muir in P1 with Hazelton for company, Wilmot in P3. Day in 4, Flannery, Henry, Warren, Van Nuss, Crane, Lovett, Newton, and I don't believe Sonny Chen is actually going to be racing. There is your class only grid. So, there we are. We are looking at, we're looking at the grid as they line up. Here is your P1. Oy. Here we go. Just getting ready to start the race now. And here come the lights. And away we go. Good start by Muir. Hazelton gets away nicely, as do Wilmot and Day. Looks like it's going to be a big field coming into turn 1 here. Let's hope everybody gets through here clean. I haven't seen any... Oh, that's Hazelton just got into Muir. Muir goes off the track. Hazelton looks to have gotten away with that cleanly. That is a move known as the Hazelton hip check, although this time Hazelton stuck his nose directly into Muir's car and pushed him off the track. Lots of bouncing around in the middle of the field in turn 3. We lost a car to the outside there, and the NASCARs now are moving up and breathing right down Hazelton's neck. So we have, excuse me, that was, Wilmot has taken over. Hazelton and Lovett collide. Hazelton then takes out... Just everybody's running into everybody is what's going on. Extremely unsafe. Rejoins all over the place. I can't hardly keep track of it. Here's Hazelton losing the rear of the car. Another crash behind him. He's followed... He's followed into the turn by Flannery, with Crane in the Turtle Wax car not too far behind. That is Flannery in the BMW livery. And this is Crane in the Turtle Wax car. So here's what has happened to the field so far. You can see that Hazelton moved up to first. Flannery has moved up 2 places. Crane has moved up 1 place. Wilmot down a spot. Day still where he was, where he qualified. Newton looks like the big winner here. Newton, 4 places. Although he just lost 1 to Muir, so never mind about that. So a pretty crazy race so far. Hazelton leading Flannery, leading Crane. And they seem to be fairly evenly matched as we finish lap 1. Looks like Benjamin Warren has stepped into the pits, as have Henry and Lovett. So what does the rest of the field look like? We got a fairly spread out group of 5 in the lead here. It looks to me like that's Hazelton, Flannery, Crane. And this is Wilmot. Looks like he's catching back up to this group. Well done to him if he's able to catch them and make something out of it. Although if it looks ahead like Hazelton might have had an issue, which gave Flannery the chance to catch up. Flannery has a little look at the inside of Wilmington. Don't think he's going to be able to make it happen. As we head into 8 and are setting up for the carousel, Flannery is all over Hazelton here. Oh no, now Hazelton has navigated the kink a little bit better perhaps than Flannery did and was able to get away from him a little bit. As Crane comes into the shot with Wilmot not far behind. So here we are finishing up lap 2. It seems like we've been racing for 4 or 5 hours at this point, just because of the madness so far in lap 1 as we cross the start-finish line. Again, Hazelton and Flannery, it seems to me, are making some tracks on Wilmot and Day. It looks like Crane had an issue. Let's see what happened to Crane. That's not Crane. There he is in the background, sliding off the track. So he lost the car in 14, is what happened to Crane. Now here we are back with the leaders, Hazelton, Flannery, and then Wilmot. Now back here with Wilmot in the 87 car, closely followed by Day and Muir. So I would expect to see some movement here. I would expect Muir to be able to get by Day, and one or both of them to be able to get by Wilmot, especially if he's going to be dipping wheels off the track like that. That NASCAR, 87 NASCAR, is just sliding all over the place. Here we go into the carousel. You wonder if the GT cars will be able to... and it looks like Muir is indeed trying to make a move on Day, and Day doesn't fight him too hard for it. Now, will Muir be able to get around Wilmot? I think he probably will, but not just yet as they head through the kink. I think the NASCAR, yeah. There's Muir having another little look at Wilmot. Wilmot doing everything he can. And even though Muir and Wilmot are squabbling, Day seems to be lagging behind just a little bit. So what's Muir going to be able to do here as we head into the last turn and go up the start-finish straight? I think Muir is going to get a run on him. He does indeed. So that's Muir past Wilmot up into P3. Now Day is trying to have a look at Wilmot. And Wilmot, the legs of that NASCAR, taking advantage of the GT4 cars down the long straight. And they've caught Hazelton here, who is in P2. Flannery somehow got around Hazelton. Let's see that pass. Oh, it's because Hazelton lost the car. Hazelton lost the car in 14. Well, these things do happen, friends. So we're back live here. And this is Flannery in the lead. So Flannery with a little gap on Hazelton, with Muir all over him, and Day all over Muir. Looks like Wilmot had an off-track event. Oh no, there's been a crash. Let's see what just happened here. That's Flannery. I want to see Hazelton. There we go. Oh. Muir hit him. That is Muir in the tumbling Hellman's car. So Muir just got right into the back of Hazelton, and they both went tumbling along. All right. So your new leader is Flannery. Now, friends, I want you to cast your eye back to our friend Greenberg, Jonathan Greenberg, normally driving in the Oregano car, but apparently not able to find an Oregano-themed livery for the GT4, being as it is. I knew... Oh, and he... Oh. Just lost the car a little bit and got off track there. Whoopsie daisy. I think he's going to be able to rejoin safely. But anyway, I was going to say Greenberg has gained 5 places over the race. So well done to him as he heads into turn 5. So let's go back to our leader. Here is Flannery getting ready to head across the start-finish line with Day just behind. I believe Muir is in the pit now. No, he's not. I'm not sure where he is. There's your leader, Ryan Flannery, in the number 3 machine. Has gained 3 places over the course of the race. And it's only lap 5, guys. Plenty more excitement to go. Will Day be able to catch up to Flannery and make something happen? Well, let's see. He's about a second back. Let's see if the software will show us some stuff. Oh, that's... Yep, Day just passed Flannery for the lead. So your new leader, Michael Day, because Flannery drove off the track. Unfortunate. Now they've both gained 2 places over the course of the race. So I think what you're seeing here is a group... Well, this BMW car is a new car. So probably our drivers are not terribly familiar with it yet. And as you can see, Flannery in P2 seems to be making that gap up on Day. So it wouldn't surprise me if we saw a pass maybe going into 1. That's Day's car. Here's Flannery. Inside the car. Let's see how they look coming down here into 1. Day manages to fight him off. But Flannery definitely having a little look there. They're navigating 3. Nose to tail through 4. Surely Flannery's going to have a little look here. He does indeed. He was able to catch a good toe. What's going to happen here in the turn? Nothing much. Flannery plays it safe, which I think was probably the smartest thing to do. So they head through 6. Where would the next good spot for Flannery to pass be? Well, I think he's smart to play it safe here and just hang on, fill up Day's mirrors, and maybe he will make a mistake that Flannery can capitalize on. Although, if he himself is driving off the course, he's not going to be able to capitalize too much. And I believe that is Lovett ahead, whom they are shortly going to catch and pass. Oh, Day loses the car. Flannery says, "I will take that. Thank you very much." And we have a new leader of the race, who was also one of our previous leaders of the race, Mr. Ryan Flannery. Well done to you, sir. And Day moves a little bit farther back there. So Flannery's last lap, a 2:22.3, and Day's was a 2:23.6. So less than a second between them, certainly. But as you can see, the gap in the top left there, as Lovett, oh, don't, looked like Lovett might have gotten on the gas just a hair early there. Let's have a look here. As he leaves, yeah, he just got on the gas a little bit early and lost the rear of the car. Well, that will happen, friends. That will happen. So Day under a second to Flannery. Hazelton a staggering 17 seconds behind. See what kind of speeds we're getting up to. These are, of course, in Ks. I can tell you that 130 is about 85 miles an hour because that is the speed limit in Europe. Just getting up over 200 Ks an hour there, coming out of the carousel. See what we're able to do on the front straight. Probably a significant turn of speed. Now here is Hazleton, currently running in P3 in the GT4 class. And he has for company Wilmot. And then it's something like a 36-second gap back to Van Nuss. There's Wilmot. Tough to see these guys a lot of times with all the trees around Road America. Wilmot is leading as we watch him go off track in turn 14. He is nevertheless still leading his class. If you can see on the timing tower there on the top left, the yellow are the NASCAR cars, the 87 NASCAR cars, and then the rest of the cars are the GT4s. They've got the blue stripe. So Wilmot is your class leader currently and has a pretty big gap on Van Nuss, who's got a significant gap on Crane. Here is your P2 car in the 87 NASCAR class. Philip Crane. And it looks like we just had a pass for P8. Lovett got past Warren. Let's have a look at that. Oh, we just passed him in the pits, I think. Well, that's not as fun. Yep, you can see Warren's car over there. And we had a crash with Newton. This Cayman just got loose and, oh, a great job there by Day avoiding Newton's car. Newton was by no means in control of it. So back live here. And there's Flannery has built his lead today up to 3 seconds. Who's now got 20 on Hazleton. Now let's see here. Now, as I said, folks, you'll have to excuse me. This is my first stream on this SDK overlay, and it looks great, and it's got a lot of features. I'm just not used to using it yet, so excuse me for that, but I will figure it out over time. So Day appears to still be building his gap, although it seems to be kind of holding steady at 3 seconds. Now, Crane was previously in P6 overall and 2 in his class. He just had a crash. Let's see what happened to Crane. Where are we seeing Crane? Here he is. And braking for 14 and, well, yeah. Just lost the rear of the car. So back to your leader. Oh, Day might have had a little issue. He's able to get his gap up to 4.5 seconds. So over Flannery's got that gap over Day, that is. And despite the trouble that we just saw Crane get himself into, he's still in P2 of his class. We see him following Lovett here, even though Crane is actually ahead of Lovett. Lovett is a lap down. Crane is on the lead lap still. And Lovett puts his car into the tires. Ah, well. So it goes. Just a reminder, thank you so much for hanging out with us. I am Jim Hodgson of Cross-Threaded. This is the Cross-Threaded presentation of Jzilla Tuesday night iRacing. And we're so glad to have you guys watching and chatting along. I am just now seeing some chat from everybody. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys cheering us on and having a laugh with us. If you're not familiar with us, we're the Jzilla crew is just a bunch of friends who do track days here in Atlanta. As we see Crane lose his car once more. And continue, apparently unconcerned, onto the front straight. As I was saying, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. Crane steps into the pits. Let's go to your leaders. Why not? There's Flannery. He's got the gap up to 5.5 seconds. Who's got 24 seconds on Hazelton. And our old pal, Warren Van Nuss, has managed to sneak himself up into P4. Van Nuss, one of the brave few who are driving the 718, the Porsche Cayman, on track today. As your top three cars are all in the BMWs. Van Nuss, best lap 2:24.4, and the best laps on the GT4 cars are more in the 2:22.7 type range. So Van Nuss apparently been doing a lot of driving. His license is up to an A, so he's apparently been putting in a lot of time in the simulator. So that must be why he is storming through the field. He also has a lot of clear track. He's all by himself as he goes through turn 11. So if he's ever going to be able to make time, that time is now. Looking very composed around 12, heading into through Thunder Valley and Bill Mitchell Bend. Let's go back to your leader. Here he is, Flannery. Day has clawed back some of that gap down to 3.9. Anyway, as I was saying, thank you so much for joining us. We are the Jzilla crew, all started with James Marcellanos, as Flannery gets a little bit hot there, heading into turn 5 and has to correct himself. Maybe his tires are growing off a little bit. That's certainly possible. It's a little bit of a shimmy there. All started with a bachelor party, a track day, a bunch of friends doing a track day as part of a bachelor party. And it became James's job. He's been doing track days professionally, of course, until this global pandemic thing hit. But we're getting started. We're getting ready to get back out on track and have some fun. So that is where most of us know each other, is from running on track days around the Atlanta area. Tracks like Road Atlanta, Barber Motorsports Park, Atlanta Motorsports Park, and etc. So these folks are mostly all friends, all know each other in real life. And there's a lot of friendly banter on the Discord. So It's not like a lot of, it's not like your stereotypical sort of internet gaming community where everybody says the worst thing they can think of to one another. Because, you know, all of these people know each other and know each other's families and kids and all that kind of stuff. So we just don't talk to one another that way. Usually. Maybe just for fun. Maybe once in a while just for fun. Now, Flannery had his gap up to 5.5 seconds, but he's been, I don't know what's been going on. His tires are going off or something. And Day has now managed to get it back down to half a second as they go through turn 1. Wouldn't Day feel good about being able to claw that back? I know that he would. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. So this is, I'm not sure how many races we're going to do. This is sort of, this is race 7 in the quote-unquote series, but I'm not sure how many. And it looks like Day might try to pass Flannery. Here they are setting up for turn 5. You know, it could be that Flannery got a little bit of space on Day and just kind of got a little bit bored running all by himself out there and then made a few mistakes. And now here he is with Day all over his trumpet once more. Now, gap back up to, well, no, it's staying about the same, just over half a second. It seems to me that Flannery has sort of realized that he lost focus. He's a little bit rejuvenated now. Day kind of letting it hang out a little bit. Got the gap down to just 0.2. Will Day try to make a move here? Surely he does. He takes a look. He's got the inside line on 12. Wisely gets onto the brakes because I think that otherwise there would have been a coming together there and one or both of those cars would have gone tumbling off of the track at turn 12. But we still have a significant amount of racing to go, so I think there's certainly going to be some excitement where these two cars are concerned. Day is going to get a nice long toe down the front straight. Will he be able to make something of it into turn 1? Let's see. Here we go. He moves out to take the inside line. Not quite close enough. This is pretty exciting stuff. Through the greater than 90 turn at 3. Day gets dipped his wheels a little bit, so he's going to lose a little bit of time there. So he will not be in striking distance for 5, most likely, just because of that little moment there that he had. Although we have also seen Flannery bobble the car a little bit heading into 5. Day takes a whole lot of track to try to get a run on Flannery. Let's see if it pays off for him. He does close the gap, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough as they go through 7. I'm not sure it was worth it to attempt that, but he did not get an occurrence. He didn't take any penalty for that 4 off that we just saw him do in that setup for turn 5. Gap now up to 0.7. So Flannery once again able to put a little bit of time on Day when he's concentrating. Day just hanging on by the fingernails, clawing him back turn by turn. Now to me, Day seems particularly fast back here in sort of the Sector 4, Sector 5 region between turns 11 and 14. And we're just navigating 12 there. It could just be my imagination or sort of, you know, a sort of optical illusion. We got a yellow. We just took a yellow flag. I'm not sure what for. Oh, we had a Flannery and Day. It's saying that these two cars crashed, but they haven't. We're just in a full course yellow. Interesting. Not sure what that's about. There's the pace car. As we watch the pace car creeping through turn 3. And Hazelton is able to close up the gap to your leaders. He's got to be pretty thrilled about that. And Van Nuss not too far behind either. We're only now moving into turn 5. What kind of speed are we looking at here? Excuse me while I find the... Sounded like we picked up the pace as we headed into 5 there a little bit, but it doesn't look that way. So only about 60, 70 miles an hour, and Van Nuss is going to be able to close out the gap. So we're going to have cars 1 through 4, and then Greenberg is in P5. He's all the way back at, he's currently navigating turn 1. You can see his initials there, just navigating turn 1, JG. So I don't think that Greenberg is going to be able to close up this gap during this full course yellow. But it's definitely going to be your top 4 cars all smashed back together. Of note, 3 BMWs and Van Nuss in the Porsche Cayman. That is going to shake a few things up. Flannery all over the pace car here. Here's the view looking back from just over Flannery's car. You can see he's followed by Day, he's followed by Hazelton, he's followed by Van Nuss quite closely. You would think, I'm just having a look at the pace car here as we head around. I would think that the pace car would pull in this lap, would see it dive into the pits. We won't know just yet, but it'll be interesting to see what kind of a restart these 4 cars get, since they're now all within just 3 or 4 seconds of one another. I expect to see the pace car pull into the pits here. It does not. So everybody's going to pit and take gas and tires. Here is your 5th place car. Excuse me, I can't even talk anymore. 5th place car. Fresh Herb lover, Jonathan Greenberg, deciding not to pit. So Greenberg will take over the lead of the race. He has pitted once, so he may feel that he's got tires and gas to make it to the end of the race. Hazelton takes over P2 even as he sits in the pit because he's a little bit farther forward than Day, who's a little bit farther forward than Flannery. Bit of an unfortunate thing for Flannery, although it appears that Flannery is going to be first out of the pits. So he will take P2. And will probably be able to catch up to Greenberg, who is creeping along behind the pace car. Yes, I think he will certainly catch the pace car. Wilmot running in P3 overall and first in his class will probably also catch the pace car, as will Day. I wonder if Day will be able to pass Wilmot since it's not a pass for class. If he can do that behind the pace car, I'm not sure. But I do think that they're all, yes, they're very soon going to be smashed up together. Van Nuss will also be a member of that crew, as will Hazelton and Crane. Well, this is certainly going to shake things up a little bit. Greenberg has now climbed 9 places over the course of the race. Well done, Greenberg. So Van Nuss got past Hazelton while Hazelton was in the pit to take P5 away from Hazelton, or P4 rather, as it ended up at the end of the shakeup. Van Nuss managed to get himself up into P4. Right. All right. I would expect that the pace car would turn in this time. So Greenberg, getting into trouble early in the race, has been in his car for 13 laps. Flannery in P2 has not pitted at all, it looks to me like. Your pit stop strategy. I'm not sure if I'm reading that correctly. So I would expect to see the pace car, and it does dive in. So we are going to restart as everybody goes charging up the field, and the whole crew, here comes your restart, comes diving across the start-finish line. So Wilmot into the overall lead. Wilmot, Greenberg, Flannery. Flannery loses his car, goes off in turn 1. It looks to me like Flannery is having a look at Wilmot as they head into 3 here. Flannery goes on the inside, manages to just elbow himself past Wilmot and make tracks. So that is Greenberg, and Wilmot having a look at Greenberg into 5 and manages to pass, but Greenberg takes it right back. I was just going to say, I'm surprised that there has not been any kind of coming together during all of this swapping back and forth, and no sooner did I have that thought than I saw the cars have a little taparoo with one another, but it wasn't anything terrible. So we got Greenberg, Wilmot, Day, and then a group of Day, it looks like, is catching up to this little group as Greenberg bounces his car off the rev limiter. I'm sure he wishes he hadn't done that because it cost him a few tenths, I'm sure. So here's the second group, led currently by Crane, Hazelton right on his tail, and Van Nuss. Everybody all together. Looked like a little tap there for Crane by Hazelton. Now, we've seen Crane's car exiting the track at speed a number of times. So will there be some sort of mistake that enables Hazelton and Van Nuss to get around him? A little puff of smoke from the tires. He does indeed have a mistake. And Hazelton and Van Nuss are indeed able to get around him. And it looks like Flannery might also be able to get around. And he will be able to do that as Crane loses the car once more. Now, Flannery had an off. He was doing much better than he currently is. Flannery is currently running P5 in class. But he had Flannery had an off, and it cost him some time. Let's get back up to the leader. Here he is, Greenberg. Wilmot, Day, and Hazelton still duking it out. Hazelton able to get around Day there, it looked like, and Day is all over the rear of his car. Wilmot still fighting for the lead. Well, this has certainly pumped up the race here. We now have just a few minutes left to go, and that's Hazelton getting around Wilmot, Day also getting around Wilmot, Flannery getting around Wilmot, and Van Nuss might also be able to do so as we're navigating, heading into the carousel. There's Van Nuss on Wilmot. Wilmot choosing instead to spend some time in the sand. And that was a terrible loss for Wilmot because Crane was also able to get around him. And Crane now takes over the lead in his class. Greenberg once again bouncing the car off the rev limiter there. I could just hear it. Hazelton and Day, it looks to me like, are really driving angry back there. They can smell that they've been given this gift, able to catch up to the leaders. They can feel it in their bones. We'll see what Greenberg's able to do down the front straight as they head into one. His gap to Hazelton is coming down. A little bit of a bobble there in the turn on Greenberg's part, and Hazelton has now caught him right up. Will Hazelton be able to get around? Not much from one car to the next here. Very close racing. Van Nuss falling a little bit off. Hazelton looking left. All over Greenberg's car. He pulls out. Going to attempt a pass into 5. Dangerous spot. Lots of cars go off here. Shallow turn in for Hazelton, but he's able to make it. Oh, no. They came together. Flannery. Well, Day takes over the lead of the race. Everybody's all over the racetrack. You'd, of course, be thrown out of a race in real life for doing that. Let's just see that again. Hazelton, it looked like was going to be able to pass on the inside, but couldn't quite make it work. Nope. Here it is. I thought they were going to be able to make it work, but it just didn't quite happen. Hazelton falls to P5. And your new leader is Day. from Flannery, from Van Nuss, who has snuck up into P3. That Warren Van Nuss, he is a sneaky, sneaky man. Here go your leaders through 14 onto the front straight. Now, let's see if we might get a white flag. Nope, I think this is going to be the final here. Yeah, Day is going to win. Van Nuss sneaks himself into P3. Here is your NASCAR class leader heading across the finish line, Wilmot, who will be followed by Crane, who will take P2 in the NASCAR class, followed by Hazelton, who takes P4 in GT4. And there is, as always, the usual smashing of the cars into turn 1. Yes, as the mayhem continues. Let's see if we can have a look at our results here soonish. We might just have to wait for all the cars to finish. But there are your unofficial results. Day, Flannery, and Van Nuss. And then in the NASCAR class, it's Wilmot, Crane, and Lovett, who actually appears to have quit the race 10 laps down, but nevertheless takes P3 because he was the only the only other car. So it's time for your results. Here we go, I think. Yes. Let's get rid of you. Here are your final results. Day is your winner. Well done to Michael Day for winning the race after a whole lot of shaking up toward the end there. Flannery in P2, Van Nuss in P3, Wilmot 4th overall, followed by Crane, Hazelton, Greenberg, Warren, and Lovett, Newton, Muir, and Henry. I don't think Chen did any driving. I didn't do any either, nor did Val Bonchev. So let's see if we can see just the class results. Here is the NASCAR class. As I was saying, Wilmot, Crane, and Lovett. Well done to those gentlemen. And here's your GT4 class coming up. There it is. Day, Flannery, and Van Nuss, the top 3 spots in that class. Well, guys. How do I do that? There we go. My friends, this has been Jzilla Tuesday Night iRacing coming to you from Road America. My name is Jim Hodson. I have been doing the commentary tonight. I am half of the Cross-Threaded Racing and Athletic Performance, CRAP, racing team. It is always fun to do this on Tuesday night. I hope that you will follow the Jzilla crew. If you follow Cross-Threaded on Facebook, you will see these races posted. You can, of course, subscribe and follow us on YouTube, and you'll see us doing more of these races. Thank you so much for hanging with us. It has been quite a learning experience for me with this new overlay software, but it looks awfully good. I'm really pleased with how it looks. So anyway, thanks so much. We really appreciate it. Great race tonight. Lots of fun. And we hope to see you for an upcoming race. Oh, I forgot I have to click the button, which means I have to know where it is. And I found it. Anyway, thanks again. Talk soon. See you. Bye.